Police IGP Kayode Egbetokun on Monday arrived Benue State. Let's see what he's going to do there. Of course, President Bola Tinubu's inactivity is a cause for concern. No national broadcast, no physical presence in Benue State. We don't know how much that would accomplish, but at least that's something. And of course, there's also growing calls for state of emergency in Benue State. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And then the second topic for discussion. The second topic for discussion, Senator Oshiomhole has fired back at critics branding the 10th National Assembly as a rubber stamp, insisting that lawmakers were not there to engage in a brawl with President Bola Tinubu. What do you think about that? So those are the two topics we'll be treating today on Matters. You can call me Solo, you can call me Souls, you can call me Mr. Souls, you can call me Mr. Solo. Officially, I am Solomon of M. Again, welcome to Matters. So what's new in the Benue State massacre? Now, Governor Ayesha Leah confirmed the killing of 59 persons at Yelwata, where suspected herdsmen from Nasarawa State attacked the border town. Addressing journalists at the government house, Leah disclosed that the figures are based on physical head counts by security agencies working with families of those killed. Among those killed were military and civil defense personnel who fought to defend Yelwata against the attacks. And then the Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Egbetokun today arrived in the states where the ferocious marauders wreaked havoc last Friday, killing scores and displaced hundreds of people. Benue State has been under heavy attacks by suspected herdsmen for some time. The killings have lingered for years, with some linking it to intercommunal conflicts as well as the quest for land dominance between the autochthonous agrarian dwellers and nomadic cattle rearers. However, the killings in the last few weeks have been without a break. At least over 160 residents were confirmed killed in a series of attacks by the suspected herdsmen. And still, a growing number of Nigerians on social media and on the streets are demanding that the federal government declare a state of emergency in Benue State following the killing of a reported number of 200 people in a 2-day rampage by suspected herdsmen. Of course, I have an analyst, Ayo Osho. He's a legal practitioner and current affairs analyst who will be helping us to dissect these topics. Joining me today to help me talk on the topics of discussion today is Ayo Osho, a legal practitioner and a current affairs analyst. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Yeah, good afternoon.
So let's take a look at the first topic for discussion, talking about the killings and the massacre going on in Benue State. First of all, what's your reaction to that? It's been going on non-stop for weeks now.
It is most unfortunate because I actually started primary school way back in Jos. Though Jos is now in Plateau State, but those days it used to be called Plateau State. You know, position of the president, Jos and etc. It's unfortunate and it is so sad because the thing has been ongoing without adequate care by our government. When I say care, in terms of going there with the military to repel these attackers. It doesn't matter whether they are Fulani men, whether they are bandits, whoever they are. By now, the military ought to have gone there to rescue the people, to give them hope. Because the system of government itself is welcome to the people. So that's my initial take on this matter. It's very, very sad.
So, Tinubu's inactivity is a cause for concern. Even the Pope has had to say something about this massacre. I would have expected that the president to do a national broadcast or even go to Benue State, let them feel his presence there.
Absolutely. The president ought to have visited the place, especially even in the light of the fact that I heard that he called Israel, or he made a statement concerning Israel, that Israel shouldn't have attacked Iran. So concerned about other countries, what's happening in other countries, what's happening in that. Primary constituency is Nigeria. Is the safety and welfare of Nigeria. That is the primary constituency of Mr. President. And the minimal thing he could have done, really, would have been to have called for a state of emergency in that state. State of emergency in terms of making sure that the military is there, or the chief of army staff relocate to that location. I'm not saying to take over the but the state of emergency that President Jonathan declared in some parts of the north those days when insecurity was so rife in that area. So the president in this area, he has failed. He's not performing his duty, as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces in regard to this area. We cannot wake up every morning to hear that 30 people have been killed, 50 have been killed, 20 people have been killed in the same area of Nigeria. So that is very, very wrong. It's unfortunate. It's highly unfortunate. And the president, must be held accountable on this count. It's unjust. How can the Pope be discussing Nigeria when it is not even his stuff, it's not his territory, to commenting on this issue? Our president ought to be seen. He ought to be heard, and our military by now should be all over Benue State, to repel these attacks, to guarantee the safety of the people. It's so unfortunate. And I saw on the news that police arrested people who are protesting. I expect the IG of police to either redeploy the commissioner of police of Benue State, or the president just comes in and sack the man. They should not stay in state capitals where they are drinking tea and drinking coffee and having photo ops. They should go to the scene. Let us see these murderers arrested. Either they are arrested or they are killed. I recall that in Delta State, an ordinary DPO went inside the bush when something like this happened. They did not bandits. They even arrested some of them. That is what we are talking about. I'm from a military background in a little way. You understand? We know how these things can be handled. We know it can be handled. Our military should be we should not only hear that they have gone to a particular place. They should go into action. Let's see these people arrested or neutralized, as the case may be. Yes, we are talking about human lives.
Definitely. And then you talked about the state of emergency in Benue State. Now, the president, called a state of emergency in Rivers State where it was just political crisis. There's no one killed. One would have expected that he would do the same thing. Even however he wants to do it, when even military taking over the state, at least that should be something.
Yes, I'm absolutely on a state of emergency in Benue State and perhaps Plateau State also, and even Borno State. State of emergency in terms of the military taking over the safety and the security of the state, so that the police, because what we are talking about is actually aggression. Some of these people carrying out these threats to our people, they are external enemies. And that is the duty of the military, to safeguard the territory of Nigeria and the citizens of Nigeria from external aggression. It has been admitted, even under Buhari's government, that some of these bandits, some of these Fulani bandits are actually coming from outside Nigeria to attack Nigerian territory and Nigerian people. And that is the duty of the military. So in that respect, I expect a state of emergency in this area, meaning that the military will be inside the bush. You understand? To go and fight these bandits, to chase them. With drones, with helicopters, with aircrafts. The other day, the federal government said they bought some new aircrafts, and let us see these aircrafts in action. You understand? Let us see these aircrafts in action, because we actually spend a lot of money to train our military. Many of our Air Force people have been trained abroad. They have been trained in the US, in the UK, India, and elsewhere. So we are professionals in the military. We are professionals, and we expect them to do their job. So that's my take on that.
And now this also, put back into focus the call for state police, because the state government can't do much except permission from at the federal level. The president will have to call the IG will have to call the AIG and the CP and so on and so forth, talking about the bureaucracy. This brings state police back into focus.
Well, in fairness to the administration of President Tinubu, he has been mentioning this issue of state policing, and many of the northern states have bought into it, pointing to the idea, especially because, according to them, they have a large landmass, where the regular police cannot actually police. So now, with the state police, we are talking about primarily about indigenes of these areas, taking care of their own security, because you cannot know my area more than me. You understand? By the time you bring policemen from Sokoto to Kano, you will not be able to know some of the terrain. But if you have policemen from Benue State, who are primarily indigenous of Benue State, they'll be able to know the terrain. Even though when they even meet some people who are disguised as Benue people, they might actually know that these people are foreigners. So I'm 100% in support of state policing. One, because even the present number of they are too small. The ratio of police individuals is too small. Most of our policemen are actually protecting the rich people in Nigeria. You say a rich man, you will have nothing less than 24 policemen, because they are the rich. It's a class thing, which is actually unfortunate. Now, so I'm for state policing. Now, 100%.
You made mention that the president have actually talked about it, but it shouldn't just end with talking. They should put it into action. This National Assembly is obviously rubber stamp National Assembly, where they listen to almost everything the president says. So the president should be able to put pressure on the National Assembly to make it a reality. So it's not just about talking about it, it's also about action, don't you think?
Yes, I actually agree with you. The National Assembly ought to come in effectively to make the proposal into law, which I think is actually before the National Assembly. But the downside of state policing in Nigeria, like you and I know, is that the state governments may now turn those state police, to become their political agents. So in drafting the law regarding state policing in Nigeria, we also need to be very, very careful. You understand? We have to be careful so that you don't perhaps give absolute power to the state governors, because some of them may use the state police. You understand what I mean? So the state police actually perhaps, should be divided into two. One, like the old police that we used to have in Nigeria, that will not be carrying gun, like this neighborhood thing you have in Lagos. They don't carry guns. You understand? But their presence alone, serves to maintain peace and order. So,
how effective would that be, considering Amotekun is not that effective? Because apart from the fact that it's not being signed into federal law, the fact that they don't carry gun hasn't made them effective, actually.
Well, actually, Amotekun, they carry arms. They do. Maybe like I've seen them in Ogun State carrying guns. I've seen them also in Ondo State carrying guns. And to a little extent, Amotekun has been effective. To a little extent.
Really? Because that's not the story we've been hearing. We've even had situations where the police even arrested Amotekun people that made some arrest. We've heard that story a few times.
Yeah, but we have also heard stories of Amotekun arresting, Fulani herdsmen. We have seen the photograph. I've seen the video.
And then few hours later, those herdsmen were released.
Okay, you see, there must be a proper synergy between the federal police and the state police. You understand? There must be a synergy.
Definitely.
Because even as of today, I'm aware that the Nigeria police trains Amotekun. And the military, they train the Amotekun corps. They train them. But the laws regulating the Amotekun, perhaps they are not strong enough. They are state laws. They are state laws. So by the time we have state policing in the constitution of Nigeria, the operation of the state police, will be clearly delineated. You understand? So if that is done, we should have more effective, policing at the local level. I expect, for example, maybe retired police officers, to be part and parcel of the state police. But they must be indigenous of those states. Yes, people who understand the language and people who know the terrain, so that they can keep repelling all these threats. Because this thing is affecting our economy, is affecting, food security. Because farmers can't go to farm, women are being raped, and all that. So we need state policing. Let's just start from somewhere. Let's get started first. Then gradually, we'll just fine-tune whatever we need to fine-tune.
So let's go to the second topic for discussion, where Senator Adams Oshiomhole has fired back at critics branding the 10th National Assembly as rubber stamp, insisting that lawmakers were not elected to engage in a brawl with President Bola Tinubu. Speaking during the live TV show, the former Edo State Governor and current Senator representing Edo North dismissed the label as not only unfair but also a misrepresentation of the role of legislators in a democracy. Do you agree with him on that?
Of course. No right-thinking person will agree with Senator Adams Oshiomhole on this matter. On the surface, it's a question of logic. It's actually right to the extent that the essence of opposition in the National Assembly or elsewhere, the essence is not actually to derail the activities of the executive. The essence of opposition bring checks and balances to governance. Because the democracy itself, is based on the rule of law, not the rule of man. So where there's rule of law, the law should be supreme, supremacy of the law. Be you ever so high, the law is higher than you. So when the president oversteps its bounds, the National Assembly is there for checks and balances. To correct him. To the court.
Barrister, we're having a problem with your audio. We've been having it for some time, but
Okay.
Okay, go on. I think it's clear.
Okay, this is my point. Checks and balances, you know, they are an integral part of democracy. That's why we have the three arms of government,
Yes.
you know, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, you know, so that no arm of government, you know, suppress the other arm of government. So that is why we have the National Assembly, you know, to checkmate the executive lawlessness, you know, executive excesses. You know, it's for the benefit of the people. It's for the benefit of the entire society, you know, so that the rule of law becomes supreme over any other rule.
But what we've seen so far has been a yes National Assembly. I mean, because they are from the same party doesn't necessarily mean they have to agree on 100% everything.
You are right. You know, absolutely. You are right. But the thing is this. If the government is on the right track, there's nothing wrong in having a National Assembly that will always back him up.
Definitely.
Look at the US example, for example now. The Republicans are in the majority. And Donald Trump is virtually having his way in many ways.
Yeah, but there've been a few Republicans too that have come out to criticize some of the things the president said, despite how powerful and this is unprecedented in U.S. where they've not had a situation where the presidency have extended its bound, you know, to this extent. And despite how strong Donald Trump politically is, they've had one or two Republican Party criticizing him. Party members.
Yes, I've seen.
But we don't get to see these in Nigeria, and even the bitter part, the opposition parties there tend to be in alliance with the ruling party in the National Assembly.
Well, that's simply for selfish reasons. But in Nigeria, Senator Ndume has been very critical of the federal government. For one, President Tinubu has always been criticizing the federal government, and one or two other APC senators, you know. But Mr. Peter Obi, too, has been critical of the government. But the thing is that every democracy is unique. Whether in Europe, whether in America, every democracy is unique to a certain extent. You understand? You know, we don't have to follow the same trajectory. But the thing is that presently in Nigeria, people have been talking about a one-party state. And that is not the problem with democracy. Democracy did not cause this attitude. It's the attitude of our people, you know, who just believe that power is for self, you know, aggrandizement. Because when these people come in, you know, they quickly move out of our neighborhoods. You understand? So Nigerians themselves, we Nigerians, you know, we have to wake up and participate in this democracy effectively.
So how do we participate when there is no electoral reform? I mean, most voters think their vote will not count because, I mean, we do more of selection than actual election, and the last election too dashed a lot of hope where people thought, you know, INEC had a better understanding of what election is, you know, e-transmission of results and all that, and hopes of Nigerians were dashed. So how do you think voters will have confidence in the electoral system enough for them to vote?
Okay, you see, if you are supposed to remain in that process, we are not supposed to give up. Okay, look, if you previously, let me use the court as an example. Okay. The National Industrial Court, we now, you know, we have been viewing it as an high court. They got to a point that judgments from the National Industrial Court were being treated as judgment from magistrate courts. So what now happened? National Assembly had to amend the Constitution to now make the National Industrial Court a court of record, you know, in the status of the State High Court and the Federal High Court. You understand? So that is democracy for you. Now, we have asked for specific, during the June 12th day, people were being frustrated, all that. But we should just remain there. them so that the next National Assembly, the next election, we'll be very, very careful who to vote for. And this power to recall, we should be using it. We should be using it. We should try to know who represents the National Assembly, who represents us in the state houses of assembly, and we give them an agenda. We want a reform in the Electoral Act. We want results from polling units that have been signed, by party agents and by the INEC members to be immediately transmitted online. You understand? So that's the only way we can have.
Okay, it's time for you to have your say. It's time for you to make your contribution. The town hall is open. So open the phone lines now. You call us or you send us a message. Number to call is 0700 903 903 903. I'll take that again slowly. 0700 903 903 903 or 0803 692 9933. Again, 0803 692 9933. Thank you very much, Afunwa Adama. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Mr. Solomon.
Yes, so thank you for joining us.
Good. You see, the killing of Benue is not only Benue alone, no. Other states are included. People don't know what is happening in Nigeria. They thought it's a child play. It's not a child play. A similar thing happened in Turkey, Athens, and they took it over. And now Athens belongs to them. The same thing is happening for Nigeria. Unless we take the bull by the horn, it's only one tribe that is stopping these people. They could have struck the whole Nigeria, which is the Igbos. Because the Igbos are still waiting to see what is going to happen. The governors of East Central State, the whole of them put together as one, they are the same thing, no difference. No difference. So let us know what we are doing now. This is not Tinubu or government. No. Tinubu is out of this. Government is out of this. So let us know what we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is sad indeed. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.
From Ogun State.
Sorry?
From Ogun State.
Okay, from Ogun State. Okay, talk to us, please.
My name is Bennett.
Okay,
Are you hearing?
can you speak up a bit? I can hardly hear you.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Go on.
This is, they are talking business. It is all over like the other man who said it. That is the reason why they have Nnamdi Kanu. Because their plan had been foiled. Their plan had been foiled. All this shouting, Benue, this is an agenda. They should understand. They should understand. Do you understand? So this is an agenda to wipe away, because Nigeria, then the people who own Nigeria take over. So,
Who are the people that owns Nigeria?
you know them. Are they, you know, if you go to East, if you any person, you will see army put eyes the other side as if they don't know what is happening. Huh? So they know.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello.
What happened at Urun? Who and who gave order before their governor went and started his begging? Are you a foreigner in this country?
Okay.
Tinubu had nothing to do. He cannot do anything, and because he's trying to gather a vote from those people, he doesn't want to offend them. They should know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you for joining us. Good afternoon. Okay, John Legend, thank you for calling. Talk to us, please. Yes. It's Fulani herdsmen, not Fulani. Exactly, exactly. They are different from Fulanis. Well, the IGP, the IGP, the IGP, the IGP is in the IGP is in Benue State now. Let's hope he will do something. The IGP is in the States now. Okay, we have more callers. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Shola.
Shola.
I'm calling from Egbeda.
Okay, Shola from Egbeda. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Talk to us, please.
Yes, see, we have no other country to run to, and we must be sincere with ourselves. I think it was this morning that the soundbite an interview one pastor made with one of your brother journalists years ago about the revolutions of people, their agenda, which is what is actually going on. There are powerful people behind people. intention is to take over the country. I don't know what people expect again of a commander-in-chief of their own country. Abacha said it. He said any insurgency that lasts more than 24 hours, he said the government is about it, which means the present president knows some things and he has decided not to take necessary action at the detriment of the lives of Nigerians, which puts Nigerians at a risk. So what is the essence of having the president? He has sworn to protect the lives and properties of Nigerians. So what are you doing there? What they are doing there is easy for us to see. They keep singing on your mandate chart, time for 2027, that is not even guaranteed for them. Do they know? Does anybody know if you are going to live till tomorrow? Even the next time, you don't know. So Nigerians have come to a point where
the army is not commanding him. You know, maybe the army is not commanding him, or he's not. I don't know. The killing is becoming too much. Is it the way we are saying it? Is it because it's not? Although I don't pay it to affect us, but it looks like they are killing as an ant. Ant. This is too much, for God's sake. Yeah. Is it? No, can't you do something? In fact, I'm speechless. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have another one. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Hello. Good afternoon. Yes. It is well, right? Abi.
What will now happen? Because we are crying. See the children, mothers, fathers born to arches in a country, and Pope sympathize with us. Then our own president cannot release a press conference, and human being will come out to tell us that no matter what, he must complete 8 years. Which 8 years? Which 8 years? That 2 years of Tinubu is like we are in 20 years of his government. And someone will say it's completely 8 years. I doubt it will not complete. Please, the president should do something about it. The people are crying. It's not easy for one person to lose. Do you know what it means for 200 people to die? Do you know what it means? It's something that if by God's grace, all these our politicians come one-on-one with us, like they were like Allah, I swear, they will come on their feet.
It is well. It is well. Thank you very much.
We don't have anything to say, and we are protesting, and they are doing that as the peaceful protesters. What did they do? The police should stop this thing that they are doing. Anytime that people go out to protest, even though they don't want us to protest, they should tell us that it's no longer in our constitution that we have to protest. Then anytime we go out to protest, they should allow the peaceful protesters to do their work in peace. If not, so anytime they retaliate. Now, what happened in Edo State now? Everybody, all the Northerners, everybody is here.
Hello, thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Tell us the name and where you're calling from. Okay, talk to us.
In this of killing in Benue, the journalists or whatever, whether Sarah, they're supposed to bring a comprehensive list of killings all over the nation and submit to the president table. Because you see, when they travel to France, this is how they kill in Benue, kill in Plateau in a larger number. The right of a president in a leadership, the first priority, the first work is to secure life and property. And this thing that he's not doing now is surely what will push him out 2027. It should not be I 2027 because he has failed his.
When people are dying, look, over 200 people died in Borno. President cannot take action. Hello. Our gallant soldiers, our gallant Air Force, our gallant Navy, they just make them look as if they cannot do anything. Let them give these people go ahead. Let them give our force go ahead to flush out these people. I know they are capable, but
something is holding them behind. They make this our Ghana soldiers look as if they don't know what to do. Let them give them go ahead and bring out these people that we cannot more enter our forest anymore. I know that when I was growing up in the village then, going to farm as a child, I feel happy going to farm because there is nothing like that can harm me in the farm, in the bush. But this time around, nobody can go to the bush anymore, even travel on the highway. Please let our Ghana soldiers wake up. Let them wake up. Let the government give people go ahead to fight these people. It's becoming too much. It's becoming too much. It's becoming too much. Tinubu is becoming too much.
At the initial stage, we were taking it, okay, it was the Benue that fought the Nigerian war. Because it was then Benue Plateau State. Before it was being divided, Plateau in a way and Benue in a way. Okay, now, the Igbos are not thinking towards that direction. The Igbos are now pitying them. Because the way the Benue Plateau State kill the Igbos is a similar thing to what is happening now. The Igbos, we can even testify to what I'm saying now. So, Nigerians should wake up before it gets out of hand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about, but... And for correction, it's Fulani herdsmen, not Fulani as a whole. Let's not... no cause commotion for this country. Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes. My name is... tell us your name, please.
My name is Victor Bassi, calling from Surulere.
From Surulere. Victor Bassi, right?
Yeah.
Okay, talk to us.
Please, when I look at how army they work now, it just baffles me. How can an army they stand for it, they collect money instead of doing their work, executing their work? We don't have army. We don't have army. Army now they don't work well. At least APC, I don't need APC again in Nigeria. Let us move to PDP. I don't need APC again. I don't need to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's read the one message here. Good afternoon, the souls. My name is Elvis, writing from Igondo. In respect to Benue killing, why is David Gowon and T.Y. Danjuma not talking of their people in House of Representatives and senators from their region? Why are they silent over the killing of their people? Honestly, I'm so distraught because of the killings all over the places in the country. Too much blood have been shed. The president make hay while the sun shine. I rest my case. Thank you so much. Elvis from Igondo. Thank you, Chinedu. Okay, more calls. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.
This is Mazi.
Okay, Mazi. Talk to us, Mazi.
I want to talk about insecurity.
Okay.
In Benue State. I don't know why we always lament on radio. No, we know the solution to this. See, my question is, the 400 men that Saudi Arabia gave to Nigerian federal government, what are they doing? They just tell us who that is there forcing this insecurity in Nigeria. It is no longer funny. We can't just keep put our hand at the lamenting on radio anymore. It is going to that stand.
Talking to us from?
Please, from Greenfield Estate.
Okay.
When I was growing, Jimmy Cliff released a record, and the title was "You Can't Be Wrong and Get Right, no matter how hard you try." And now this particular Nigeria you see now has been expired. The amalgamation of Nigeria expired things, and we refuse to understand that the man that is ruling us, they say, don't talk. He has an agenda with the Fulani to take Nigeria, that the Fulani should take Nigeria. Look at what is happening.
Do you have proof? Do you have proof of that?
The
Because the
proof
problem. Okay, good afternoon, Solo. You know, my problem in this whole killing in Benue is that Gowon refused to come out and condemn it. No comments on what whatsoever from him, village man from Idimo. Okay, thank you for joining us. Good afternoon.
Hello, can you?
We can hear you. Good afternoon.
There's one thing that I want to everyone.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, tell us your name, where you're calling from, please.
I called back. Wisdom. I want to.
Oh, okay.
Now listen. See, someone said that what I said is just, but I don't care. How can a somebody terrorist from another state, Benue state, to kill and go back? And you are telling me that nobody is there. Soldier is not there. Police is not there. Nobody is there. But they are putting for the police, soldier here for Enugu, Anambra, and everything.
Is bleeding. People are suffering as a result of hunger. People are also being killed as a result of insecurity, and the government is helpless. When are things going to be better in this country? God should arise for this country in 2027 election. Emeka from Abeson. Thank you so much, Emeka. Solomon, if you want government and presidency takes action, let one terrorist get injured or killed, the response will shock you and Nigerians. Udum. Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon. Nigerians are dying day by day and lamenting day and night, calling for help. Who will hear the cry of the people and the blood of the innocent crying to God? God hear the cries of the dead and avenge for his people. Chikezie from Ago. Thank you so much, Chikezie. Or oil there, because if we are in oblivion full of hypocrisy and bigots. If not, why is this conspiracy going on everywhere in the country? In the east, it's called unknown gunmen, especially in Imo State. Everyday killings. Who's going to bail us out? Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon. Good afternoon, VOP listeners. Nigerian matter does not what puts in mouth. Okay, I don't understand this grammar. Nigeria is an expired country since 2014. There is no forward that restructuring in. He's saying that there should be restructuring. Name is Reverend Dr. Richard Chidi from Ikotun. Thank you so much, Reverend Doctor. Okay, last call. We have so many messages. Hello, good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.
Bros, me, I don't tire. Grammar don't tire me. I don't speak grammar again. I dey cry like this. I dey cry.
It is well.
Nigeria law.
We pick this call. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good afternoon, Solomon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Peter, calling from Isolo.
Peter from Isolo. Okay, yes. Talk to us, Peter.
Solomon, let us not pretend. We know the cause of respect. This is a Fulani. Yes, we are saying that we should not call general Fulani. But I tell you, the background of the agenda of the Fulani.
It's not about background.
Physically, we see them, we call it because of land and all this. But we know that is what we don't want to say the truth. That's why the problem continues hanging. But for this present government, they will never do anything because they need votes for 2027. So the only thing, if you know how to defend it.
From White Sand is Sherry. In my opinion, I believe we can all come together to reject this APC government. To crown it all, Tinubu should resign. Thank you. We find Chukwu Okoye from White Sand. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah. Yes. Don't quote me. I'm saying that you remember.
Can you speak a little louder? I can hardly hear you.
Where I'm administrating my voice. I don't know.
Sorry.
Hello.
Hello.
I say don't misquote. I'm not saying Fulani generally, but I think we are getting into the group of the Fulani. It's not Fulani generally. You remember what happened last year? Their leader was claiming that they are going to invade, and they did it last year also. So they are doing it. Not at all of them.
Peter, right? Peter, hello. Peter, right?
Yes.
We honestly can't hear you. You're quite faint. It's as if you're whispering. They hide from somebody. Hello. We can't hear you. Government is completely bad because of what they are doing. No good leader in this present regime. God will help the innocent people in His way. Julius from Oshun. Thank you so much, Julius. Hello, your name and where you're calling from, please. 1 minute.
Yeah.
You're the last.
good afternoon.
You're my last caller.
My name is Ezekiel. I'm calling from Ikotu.
Ezekiel from Ikotu. Okay, please. 1 minute, please.
Yeah. My brother, please. The killing in Benue is making me to get angry. It's making me to get angry.
It's making everyone get angry. Oh.
It's
God
making
help
me
us.
to get angry. Honestly, we prepare ourselves in this country. Whatever it may be, let it be. We are tired of this nonsense. This man resigns from the seat. Huh? How can the president be in a country like this? They are killing people like chickens. It's not proper. It's not proper. Huh?
Thank you very much.
Let them continue. It's getting out of hand.
Thank you very much for calling. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, no more calls. Let me read the remaining 3 messages or 4, and then we'll call it today. Mr. Solo, Nigeria will soon be like Afghanistan. Nigeria will soon be like, once again, village man from Idimo. We pray not to. Mr. Solomon, good afternoon. You said Fulani ex-men. I totally disagree with you. The governor of Bauchi is a Fulani. Okay. He came out and said emphatically that he had invited foreign Fulani to Nigeria. Okay, good afternoon, Solomon. Fam. Oh, okay, it's Ofem. Let's focus on finding solutions to the killings in Benue State rather than politics.